Share people, what's good? Welcome, hope you fellas are well. Now, I thought I'd just take this time to sort of talk about, I guess, a certain YouTuber by the name of, Solidrev. Now, I've been a very long fan, I've been a big fan of Solidrev, and I think his channel was like one of the first ones, like his channel was among one of the first YouTubers that I actually subscribed to. It was a Gamer 2323, Broker Games HD. What else was there? Black Bond, Hard 8 Times, and Solidrev was one of those ones, including what's her face, Era Kits for the win. Those were like those were the YouTubers that I actually kind of looked up to in regards to YouTubing and how to do my channel, and sort of not copying from them, but just sort of taking what they do and that, and to sort of incorporate it into sort of how I want to make my channel type thing. So they were my inspirations, and Solidrev was one of them. Shout out to the man Solid Rev. So recently, for those of you who don't know, Solidrev has just tweeted out his thoughts on on just sort of characters, black characters. We all know how he feels about female characters in video games, and how he does not like playing as females, and he would rather play as a man than play as a woman in a video game. That's his preference. I don't think he's sexist or none of that. He's just very blunt, and that's one of the things that I quite liked about Solidrev, is that he's quite blunt, and he's quite brutally honest too. And at first, I didn't actually like his channel at first, believe it or not, because I found him quite sort of loud and quite brutal in his honesty, and for me, I was kind of turned off about that. I didn't really like that about him or his channel or his YouTube channel. So for me, I didn't really like him. But as I sort of kept watching his content, and most of his content and stuff that he talked about was actually topics that I was interested in, so I ended up just sort of clicking on his videos, because he would talk about stuff that I wanted to, that I was interested in. So I ended up just sort of kept watching his videos anyways. And as I watched more and more of his content, I sort of got the idea of kind of like, oh, okay, so this fella, Solidrev, is all about brutal honesty, and he doesn't care how he sort of looks like, and he just says his own thoughts, and at times they are sort of brutal and quite cold and quite arrogant. But I've grown to appreciate his honesty, because his way of expressing himself and his way of doing videos is something that most YouTubers don't really do, because especially the popular YouTubers, if they were to really express their feelings and really express how they feel about certain video games and certain characters and homos being in video games and all of that, if these YouTubers really told you how they felt, they know that they'd be called homophobic, sexist, and all those other great big words sort of a thing. So what most of these YouTubers do is that they kind of water their opinion down so that they don't get attacked or they don't get any backlash, or they don't sort of get attacked and be called sexist, because they don't want to play as a female, or they'd rather play as a male as opposed to a female and stuff, so they'd sort of water it down. And that's what I like about Solidrev, is that his thoughts aren't watered down. He really does express his opinion, like quite brutally, in fact, at times. And but that's what I appreciate about him, as opposed to having your opinion watered down. Because for me, I want to hear your, after watching Solidrev and that, I want to hear people's brutal opinion. You know, I don't really want to hear people's watered down opinion, because that's not, I don't know, I want to hear your honesty, like your brutal honesty, and that's what I like now. I didn't before, but now I actually like YouTubers that tell it how they see it. Whether they are wrong or right, it doesn't really matter. It's just, I just want to hear what they say, and their brutal honesty, and how they see things. So, and this is pretty much what Solidrev did. Now, this video isn't, you know, I mean, I'm not making it to defend Solidrev, because he's a grown man. He can defend his own self, as you know what I'm saying. So I mean, he's got a mouth. He's got a YouTube account. He can defend himself. He's a grown man. But I'm just sort of making this video as a long subscriber. I've subscribed to this man for quite a long time. Jeez, I missed that one. But yeah, I've subscribed to this man for a long time now. For like around about, maybe I want to say 6 years, I think, maybe like something like that, like quite a long time, you know, 6 years or so of watching his content, and I mean, for me, I don't think I think he means well. He just I mean, again, this isn't a video to defend him or anything, because again, he's his own man. He can do that himself. But as a subscriber, you know, I don't think he's a racist, because if he is, in my opinion, I think Solidrev is the type of person that would come out and say it. Like, if he was really truly racist, he'd say it, and he'd have no shame in that, because that's the type of person he is. But for me, he's not, though. Like, if he was a racist, he'd come out and say it, but he hasn't, and he's been on Twitter sort of trying to convince other people, and that hasn't really worked. And to be quite honest, once people think that you're racist or homophobic, it's a waste of time trying to change their mind, because their mind is already made up. If they see you as a homophobe or whatever, or anti-trans or whatever, then it doesn't matter how many times you try and convince them that you're not or whatever, they're just going to see you as sexist. It's like, it's a waste of time trying to trying to convince them otherwise. But that's what he done, you know. Even after that tweet, he tried to explain himself, but it's like, oh dude, don't waste your time. People already see you as racist, so it's like, oh well, you can't really change them. Can't really change their mind anyways. But I mean, look, I'm not here to say that I know Solidrev either, because I've been in a situation where I've worked with a person for over a year, thinking, you know, I've worked with this person, I had lunch with this person and all that. We go to the same work, thinking that I know this person, worked with him for a year, and then, long story short, I found out that this fella that I was working with was had raped someone, in his past and that, and I didn't even know. I was like, whoa, shit, so that experience there shows me that, you don't really know anybody, and I'm not here trying to convince you or trying to show you that I know Solidrev, because personally I don't. I just happen to subscribe to this man's channel. That's it. That's as far as I know him. Other than that, I don't really know his wife or kids or family, friends. I don't really know him. But as a subscriber, I think, whether he is racist or not, that's really up to you. I mean, I can't change your mind. Solidrev can't change your mind. If you think he's racist, then, oh well, He's racist then, in your eyes. I can't change that. No one can change your mind. But yeah, but there is no way to know any of these YouTubers who they really are. Once that camera is has stopped recording, you don't know what he does behind the scenes and that. But for me, I don't think I think, right, especially after on Twitter when he was trying to explain himself, I think he really got quite upset. I think Solidrev was very upset, just the fact that people were calling him racist, because I don't think he really liked that at all. You could tell in his later tweets that he just was not happy with people calling him a racist, and I could tell that it was getting to him and that he had to stop. And even today, like, it's the 10th of July and he hasn't really been tweeting these past few days, and he hasn't, as far as I know, he hasn't really uploaded any videos ever since that tweet and that. So I hope the man's doing well in that, but at the end of the day, it really, like, I could tell by his tweets, it really annoyed him, and I could tell that he was upset that people were calling him a racist, and that he just, I think he really did, like, he didn't mean, look, mate, I'm not trying to defend the man. All I know is that by reading his tweets afterwards, he was very upset that people were calling him racist. And for me, Solidrev is the type of person that don't care. Like, he doesn't care if you see him as sexist or whatever, but he'll say it how he sees it. He'll tell you if he's racist. If he really is racist, he's the type of person that will tell you. But just the way that he reacted on Twitter, how he got real defensive and how he was trying to tell people, no, I'm not racist. Like, I could tell that it really got to him, and he was quite upset with it. And now he's not really on Twitter. He hasn't been on Twitter for a while, and he's just over it. And so that's how I see it. Whether you think he's racist or not, that's up to you. But for me, I could tell he was really upset, and that he just did not like it, and I don't think that that's what he wanted to portray, or I don't think that that's what he wanted his tweet to be, a racist tweet, even though it kind of did sort of come out that way, because even I read his tweet and I was like, hold on, what the hell is this man saying? Like, I was a little bit confused, I'm not going to lie. When I read his tweet, I was like, what is he talking about? He must have seen something or read something to make him say that. So, again, this isn't a defending. I don't want to defend the man, because he can do it himself. He doesn't need anyone to defend him. He can, he's a grown man, and that he can do it himself. But look, mate, peace and love. At the end of the day. At the end of oh man, hold on. Excuse me. At the end of the day, peace and love. Spread peace and love, people. That's that's all I can say, man. And as for Solidrev, I think it would have been better if he did, like, retweet whatever the hell he was talking about, because I was confused when he writ that. Like, I didn't even know what the hell he was going on. Like, what are you going on about? But yeah, I mean, maybe like a hypocrite, maybe. Like, there have been times where I've watched his videos where, especially with like how he would always like flip-flop and that, like his views, he'd like flip-flop and say, oh, this game sucks, and then later on he's like The Witcher 3, he'd say, bro, this game sucks, don't buy it, and then 5 months later he then makes a video saying Witcher 3 Game of the Year, or Game of the Generation, Witcher 3, and I'm like, hold on, this is the same man that said that that said that The Witcher 3 was quote unquote, trash or whatever. I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. Now he's praising the game, but that's the type of person Rev is. He just says how he feels, but I don't think he meant any harm, because of how he reacted at the end there. Right at the end, how he just didn't like it, how people were saying he was racist, and he felt, I could tell he was quite upset with that. But, oh well, it is what it is. What else was I going to say? I was going to say something else. What was it? Shit, I've forgotten. I've actually forgotten. What was I going to say? I've forgotten. Shit, brain fart. Damn it, I was going to say something. What the hell was it? I don't know, I can't remember, but oh well, must be finished then. I must be the end of the video then. But that's right. Yeah, Twitter. You see, the thing with Twitter and Facebook and YouTube is that it's so easy, on Twitter to just write whatever the hell you want to write and to say whatever you want to say. It's just so easy now with Twitter and Facebook. It's easy now than ever to say your piece and to express your feelings on certain things because of Twitter and that. It just makes it so easy, and that's one of the traps I think with social media is that it's so easy to express your feelings that you can slip up and just say whatever and then end up getting attacked for it. And it's I don't think social media and that, I don't think it's really good. Like Twitter and that, it is quite toxic, to be quite honest. I'm on Twitter and some of it's just absolute rubbish, absolute bonkers. Some of it is just absolute rubbish. So I'd say my advice would be careful on Twitter. Don't get roped into the hate, because it's very easy to hate, and I see it on Twitter and YouTube and all these YouTube comments, and all of that's just a lot of hate, man, and not enough loving, not enough peace and love. There's a lot of hate, man, and I say, for my advice for people, and for people like Rev and that, my advice would be careful, man, be careful of Twitter, be careful of, monitor how much you consume of all of these, social media, and that be mindful of what you're consuming on television, be mindful of what you read on Twitter, and be mindful of what you watch on YouTube, because it's just toxic. Some of it is very toxic and hateful, and there's a lot of people hating, man. It's easy to hate, but it's very hard for some people to, it's not as easy to spread love. Hate is easy to spread, but peace and love, not so much, man. And that's what I've noticed whenever I'm on Twitter or even on YouTube. A lot of hate, not enough loving. So my advice is, be careful when you're on social media. Be mindful of what you see and what you watch and what you read on Facebook, Reddit, all these other social media sites. Just keep yourself safe, man, and don't, try and spread peace and love, man. It's all good. At the end of the day, it's just bullshit, really, because at the end of the day, what matters is your own life. This internet life and that, none of it really matters, mate. When push comes to shove, it's all about, none of this really matters. YouTube, Twitter, none of it matters, mate. When push comes to shove, you need to protect yourself, and it's just a whole lot of bollocks. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, I'm starting to ramble now, so I leave you with this, man. You know, I hope Solidrev has a nice rest, and you know, take this time to spend time with your family, spend time with friends, spend time with people that really actually matter in your life, not none of these, you know, people on Twitter or YouTubers. None of them matter at the end of the day, not really. And just be mindful of what you read, and be careful what you watch on YouTube, and what you read on Twitter, and just spread peace and love. That's all I'm saying, man. Peace and love. It's all good. It's all good, mate. Anyways, that's me. I'm done. Jeez, this was a long video, but I just had to sort of get things off my chest and that. If you watched it for this long, I appreciate it. If not, hey man, it's all good. Peace and love, people. That's all I can say. At the end of the day, peace and love. It's all good. Spread a bit of loving. You know, loving don't hurt no one. Come on, man. Yeah. I'll catch you fellas up in my next video. Be safe. Watch over yourself. Watch over your, you know, loved ones and that. And I'll catch you fellas up in my next video. Peace and love.